What's up? This is your man Isaac, other known as Answer, short for ancestors. So I decided I'm going to do a little bit more video content to the Please Don't Ask podcast. Today is going to be just another one of those random thoughts for the podcast today. And I guess today's topic is, no one likes the safety guy, right? No one really likes the safety guy. Safety guy comes around and says, wait in this line, don't drink that. That's too much to drink. And, 24 elders surround this guy, and no one likes the safety guy, right? We come around like, why are these 24 things surrounding me? I get to drink as much as I want to drink. I'll go to the front of the line and just pay somebody off at the front of the line. I'm not going to stand in this line. That's, nobody likes the safety guy. And like me, most of us are like that too. We like taking chances. We like being on edge. And like for me, when I was a young kid, and I was like 15, 16, nobody could tell me to wear a seatbelt. I'm not wearing a seatbelt. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking cool. You know what I'm saying? When I get my mama's car, you know what I'm saying? Got the window down, got my arm out the window, driving. I ain't got no seatbelt. I'm trying to look cool. I'm not trying to be safe. I'm not trying to be safe at all. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, and then, there's, there's stats about safety, and we'll get into that. But nobody likes the safety guy, right? And then, my man Kanye West. So I want to tie it into my man Kanye West, right? Because, like I said, I didn't wear seatbelts when I was growing up. And then my man Kanye West, he makes a song called The Wire. The Wire. The Wire is a song where he allegedly gets injured in a car accident. After the injury in the car accident, he makes a song about the effects of being in a car accident, right? So he's talking about, I got to drink a Boost for breakfast, and he's going to sip some syrup because he has a sweet tooth or something or the other. So the next time I got in my car, like I said, I don't care about the safety guy. They put the screen, wear your seatbelt and this and that. And, but when I heard the Wire song, I changed my habits. I changed my habits when I heard the Kanye West song. I read that there's, and then let me take a step back, because there's a lot of people in the world that, are people, whether it be Kanye West, Puffy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, whoever it is, they'll make a mistake, and then, something, or Noah, Noah the prophet, the naked Noah, there'll be a mistake. And, now with technology, we can, at the speed of light, judge somebody, critique somebody, and hold them accountable to such things. So Kanye, bringing it back to Kanye, everybody want to crucify Kanye West for his comments as a Nazi, his comments not as a Nazi, his comments about, whatever he said about being a Nazi. I don't even know what he said, to tell the truth, because, and then he also said, being in slavery was a choice. I definitely disagree with that. I always think about the brother, and he's not thinking about slavery. I think about the brother who had his back to the camera and he has all those whips on his back. That pain can never go away. No matter what, Kanye wants to, philosophically discuss, that pain can never go away, right? And where was that? Oh yeah, and then Kanye West, but what I'm saying, and then we get into this habit where, say there's a mantle, right? There's a mantle, there's a mantle, and there's a man in front of the mantle. And then we're, we're ready to go past the man or woman to tear things off that man's mantle. But there are some things that shouldn't be on the mantle, right? I want to keep the Jesus walk thing on Kanye's mantle. I want to take down, the comments about the slavery on the mantle. If it was a classroom, and I know everything isn't a classroom setting, but in most society, we go to school from the ages of 5 years old to 18 years old. We spend 13 years mostly in the classroom. Some of us drop out and choose other paths. But in a classroom setting, if I'm judging Kanye West on music, he gets an A. If I could judge him on, on band. He's in band. He gets an A+. He goes to the advanced section. If he steps into the political science classroom, he'd probably get a D+. He has to get a D+. And Kanye, I've looked at your political science, review. I'm gonna have to give you a D+. And life isn't like that. I know life isn't like that, but we should think about those things sometimes as we. I'm not giving Kanye West a pass at all, but let me get back to my point. So, like I said, nobody likes the safety guy. They said I looked online, looked at the internet. Take what you want from the internet, but they said there's 1.6 million car accidents every year, I believe, in the United States. How many individuals make a song after the accident, after the incident, after the accident, after you get in a car accident, and then everybody can learn from that mistake that he made driving the car? That's a 1 in 1.6 million chance. Y'all like mathematics. Sometimes my people don't get credit for the mathematics that they use. This man getting in a car accident, and it really, if it's 1.6 million accidents, it's probably 3 million people involved in the accident, maybe 2 million at least. So you have to have 2 cars for accident, 2 things collide, and one person, one car, another person, another car, unless you hit an object. But Kanye West, even if 1,000 songs are made, after the accident, that's a 1 in 1,000 chance that somebody has that talent to make a song after an incident. And then we can go look in holy books too. We can go look at the books of Revelation. We can go look at the Quran. We can go look at other books where they talk about accidents that happen. You have to adhere to some of these accidents. But getting back to Kanye West, everybody has their own religious point of views, and everybody, God bless everybody, and everybody be peaceful out there, whatever, religion you follow. But get back to Kanye West, he, like I said, I was a cool guy, saying 15, 16-year-old, I ain't wearing no seatbelt, and I got like 22, 23, heard the Kanye West. I'm like, then I start getting hunted by the lyrics, boost for breakfast. And sure, if it did, I'm not, I don't want to drink a boost for breakfast. I put my seatbelt on, and sure for dessert. My son's on life support. What, I don't want to deal with that. And I've had my share of, incidents, that's for another day. But God bless Kanye West, man, because he's a 1 in a million chance that a person, and there's probably been a lot of artists, a lot of musicians that have made music after an accident. But what I'm saying, for Kanye West, what I'm saying, yeah, is his, do I want his political text? And then a lot of times, like for instance,